Hello and welcome back to my channel as we are anticipating the 94th Annual Academy Awards. In honor of the upcoming award show, I decided it would be fun to share my own personal ballot. If I were in the Academy, what would I nominate this year as the best in film for 2021? Now, for the sake of time, we're going to be just covering the top categories, so the 2 screenplays, Best Director, the 4 acting categories, and Best Picture. Please let me know what you think of both my own picks and some of yours. Comment down below to let me know, what do you wish gets honored this year at the Academy Awards? What are some things that you think the Academy missed out on? Films that didn't even get nominated? What were some of your faves of 2021? Let me know. And without further ado, let's get into Best Adapted Screenplay. My own personal nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay are Drive My Car, The Lost Daughter, Passing, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. I think all 5 of these films do an excellent job of adapting their material for the medium of film. I think they're very personal and intimate tales, while also having, in some cases like West Side Story, having the spectacle that we love seeing in big Hollywood films. And if I had to pick a winner, I think I would pick Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Lost Daughter. This is a film that really clicked with me, and I think as far as a feature debut, I think it was just such an exemplary work, and how she's able to mirror the young Lada's life as performed by Jessie Buckley with the older life portrayed by Olivia Colman, I think was very illuminating. And for me, in a very tight race, I would give that the award for Best Adapted Screenplay. For Best Original Screenplay, I would nominate Come On, Come On, Licorice Pizza, 9 Days, Pig, and The Worst Person in the World. Now, these films, I think, really showcase a lot of creativity on behalf of the writing. Their ingenuity and their really intriguing ideas that they explore really stayed with me long after the credits stopped rolling. It's very hard for me to pick a winner here because I love them all so much, but if I had to, I think I would end up choosing The Worst Person in the World, which is not only one of the best romantic comedies, if you can call it that. I mean, it definitely has a lot of dramatic, really depressing moments by the end of the film, but I just think this is representative of life as it is, unfiltered, and the dialogue, it's both witty, but I think substantive, and for me, it's one of the most needed films at this time. A movie that allows you the relief to laugh and find joy while also giving you the true realities of sometimes the imperfections and the things that don't work out. And I think the fact that it's able to balance all of these, disparate tones, for me, makes it such a worthy screenplay, and one that I hope it takes the Oscar. I don't think it will in the end, but for me, this is the best original screenplay of the year. For Best Supporting Actor, my nominees are Bradley Cooper for Licorice Pizza, Anders Danielson Lie for The Worst Person in the World, Woody Norman for Come On, Come On, Masaki Okada in Drive My Car, and Cody Smith-McPhee in The Power of the Dog. I think what's really great here is that you have a lot of younger performers who really broke through here. I think Cody Smith-McPhee, he's been around for a while, but I think this is really a landmark performance to establish his name in the current generation of young actors. Woody Norman, of course, I think is on par with Henry Thomas and E.T. for delivering one of the best, if not the best, child performances ever put to film. And then I think you have some emerging talent from across the globe, like Okada and Danielson Lie, who really give such powerful and surprising performances. They kind of creep up on you and you don't expect the resonance that they end up giving in their work. They both have one scene in each of their films that just truly bludgeons you in its emotional authenticity, and that is in large part thanks mostly for the writing and directing is definitely important, but it's mostly the actor's performance that is able to deliver those sequences so well. And then Bradley Cooper, I think, gives such a fun and raucous performance that I think delivers exactly what that role needed and more. And to see him really just let loose and have fun, he's just such a driving force of energy, and I loved him in that movie. And even though it's a short runtime, I think it was definitely one of my favorite scenes of the year. And so for that, I think he is deserving of a nomination. He was also great in Nightmare Alley. Unfortunately, Best Actor is very competitive, for me at least. So I couldn't include him there, but this, I think, not only is for his wonderful work in Licorice Pizza, but for a great year that Bradley Cooper had. And as for a winner, this one is somewhat easy for me. I would definitely give this to Woody Norman in Come On, Come On. It was such an affecting performance. And for a child actor to have such a knowledge about his role, both in this narrative, but about the world in general, there was a lot of maturity in his performance, while also bringing in the needed innocence that his character represents. And the fact that he's able to have such a great rapport with Joaquin Phoenix, hot off of his own Oscar win for Joker, he just really, really impressed me, and I think it's a performance that will stay with me for some time. And for that, I think he is definitely deserving of my Oscar. For Best Supporting Actress, my nominees are Katrina Balfe for Belfast, Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose for West Side Story, Kirsten Dunst for The Power of the Dog, and Toko Miura for Drive My Car. Now, all of these ladies, I think, really are the MVPs of their individual films. I was not the biggest fan of Belfast overall, but I think Katrina Balfe's performance is really awards worthy, and I was disappointed to see that she missed out on the Oscars. I think a lot of these performances also are the emotional cores of their film. I think you could say that about Ariana DeBose in West Side Story, who takes an iconic role with Rita Moreno's original performance in the 1961 film, and I think delivers a lot more depth and charisma. I think partly due to the nature of the film overall being a more authentic account of the culture that it's representing, but she really benefits from that, and she takes the challenge of Anita and she just flies with it during the more lighthearted moments that we see in America, and also the heartbreaking moments near the end of the film. She has such range here, and being a new film actress, it's really impressive how far she's come. I'm a huge fan of hers, going back to the days when she played the Bullet in the ensemble of Hamilton. It's really great to see her so quickly have such confidence on screen. As I talked about with Maggie Gyllenhaal's script, I think Jessie Buckley is integral to The Lost Daughter working so well, and she has really risen as a new dominant talent in the industry. And then Toko Miura is just devastating in Drive My Car. Her monologue near the end of the film just brings the whole movie into focus, and she is such a necessary component for that movie's success that I couldn't pass her up for a nomination. And then of course, Kirsten Dunst, who I would give this award to, I think is so wonderful in The Power of the Dog. She interprets the film's core themes about feeling out of place and feeling as if you're tied to a certain image, even though you may be personally uncomfortable with that identity. I think she captures that perfectly here. There's a lot of subtleties and nuances to her work, and I think just a look towards one camera or a line here or there, she's able to fill so much detail into every single choice she makes. It's one of the most different performances that I've seen in some time, especially out of her, and I think it would be one worthy of awarding. Now, moving on to Best Actor, my nominees are Nicolas Cage for Pig, Benedict Cumberbatch for The Power of the Dog, Hidetoshi Nishijima for Drive My Car, Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom, and Simon Rex for Red Rocket. I think this is probably the most different of the nominees here. I think all of these performances are so distinct, and that's generally what I loved about all of them. They really felt that they were the driving forces of their individual films, and that the movies wouldn't work without these great performances at its center. I think you had people like Nicolas Cage and I think Andrew Garfield kind of redefining how people see them with their performances in those films. I think somebody like Nishijima is able to do so much with so little. Like, I think similar to what I said about Kirsten Dunst, just a look towards one actor or one facial expression can hold so much complexity and conflict. There's a lot that this character is having to deal with in the film, and his nuanced work here shows the journey that he takes internally. Simon Rex is just a ball of fun and fervor, and he is just reveling in the opportunity to play a character like this, and he fully brings what could be very, in lesser hands, that performance could be very cartoonish, but here he grounds him in a way that he's able to revel in the craziness while also making him an identifiable human character. And it takes a really strong, esteemed actor to do that balance. And then Benedict Cumberbatch is who I would give this award to, because I've been a fan of his since Sherlock. I have loved Benedict Cumberbatch, but I didn't know he had this in him. He floored me in how he was able to take me on such a journey from the beginning of the movie, where I just thought he was so despicable. He was one of the best villains of last year, to the end where I oddly felt a little sympathetic for him. I felt sorry for him and how uncomfortable his life was because of the external factors that subjugated him into a role that he didn't identify with. I think the movie is very confrontational, and it starts with Benedict Cumberbatch. If Cumberbatch doesn't understand the assignment, that the whole movie falls apart. And I think the movie's success is largely attributable to Cumberbatch's outstanding work, and for me, he is the best performance of the year. Now for Best Actress, my nominees are Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz for Parallel Mothers, Alana Haim for Licorice Pizza, Renata Reinsve for The Worst Person in the World, and Kristen Stewart for Spencer. Now, Penelope Cruz does so much acting to a computer screen, and just the way she reacts to things in this movie, just sitting in a chair, looking at a screen. I mean, it's more than most actors do with like these large Oscar Beatty soliloquies. The restraint she has as an actor is quite possibly her greatest strength as one. Alana Haim delivers a newcomer performance that is one for the ages. She is so incredibly funny here, while also being very, very understanding of her dramatic arc. And I think you could also say the same thing about Renata Reinsve, who was such a surprise in The Worst Person in the World. She's so effortless in how she's able to capture this character. And that comes down to real understanding of the choices that she's making. Kristen Stewart, I think, takes a very established, well-worn character in Princess Diana and offers a new perspective to her. She truly allows this to be the Kristen Stewart interpretation. She's not delivering a performance that another actor would have given, which I really respect. But the person I would give this award to is quite possibly now becoming one of the best actors to grace the silver screen, and that is Olivia Colman in The Lost Daughter. I found this to be a multifaceted work from the actor who is able to show the impact of the choices we make throughout our lives and the weight that is left with us based on certain decisions we make. I think she plays the desire to want to move on and to grow and mature, even though that's difficult. And it can bear a heavy toll when we have to decide between two ideas of who we are. This is a movie that reminds you of how great an actor she is, and I actually think this is her best work to date, and for that gives her the Oscar in my book. Now let's talk about Best Director, where my nominees would be Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, Julia Ducournau for Titane, Maggie Gyllenhaal for The Lost Daughter, Ryusuke Hamaguchi for Drive My Car, and Steven Spielberg for West Side Story. Their ability to marry the technical components of filmmaking with a truly powerful and resonating thematic arc makes all of these films just instantly memorable. And for me, I think they truly are all deserving of not only the honor of being nominated, but of winning. But for me, if I had to pick a winner, I think I would go with Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog, because I think her work truly challenged me. As I talked about in my Best Picture Ranked video, where The Power of the Dog was my favorite of the Best Picture nominees, I talked about how I felt that I left that movie a different person, that she truly challenged through the cinematic means what masculinity meant, especially in terms of the Western genre and the Hollywood norm. And I think out of all of these films, Jane Campion's bravado and her thematic intentions is what really impressed me the most and what I think makes her deserving of this category. my nominees for Best Picture for the Best in Film in 2021 are Drive My Car, The Lost Daughter, The Power of the Dog, Red Rocket, and The Worst Person in the World. The discovery of something new is what I just love to see in filmmaking, and the fact that we can still find such brilliant new voices in this medium is one of the most exciting things about filmmaking, and I think all of these movies truly meant something to me in 2021. And as for a winner, I think you could probably surmise, given my Best Picture ranked video that I did and also some of the comments I've made, I would give this to Power of the Dog. Everything I said stands true here. I think it is such a interesting film as it explores a lot of the, I think, unsaid truths about masculinity. I think every single aspect of filmmaking that a director and an artist can employ to tell a cinematic story is in full effect here and working in such a way that it complements every single aspect of the filmmaking art form, and for me is the best picture of the year. Thank you all so much. Did you like my picks? What do you think? I mean, this kind of was a best of 2021 kind of recap for me. So let me know, what were your favorites of 2021? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to not miss any new videos from Spoilers Ahead with Anthony Post. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you at the movies.